Shaun Attwood is the host of True Crime Podcast. He's an author, a speaker, and a YouTuber. Boy, is he a YouTuber. And we're very lucky to have him on the mother of all talk shows this evening. Shaun, welcome back. It's been some time. The proximate reason why I wanted to talk with you is about that very man, Maxwell, or rather his favourite child, Ghislaine Maxwell. The paramour of Jeffrey Epstein, who was quite surprised to find he'd committed suicide in a New York penitentiary. She has been denied a retrial. She hasn't yet been sentenced. What's your latest take on the whole Epstein-Maxwell affair?
Well, first off, huge thank you, George, for having me on in this era of algorithmic strangulation and fascist fact checkers. my own channel was nuked twice over my Epstein-Maxwell Prince Andrew coverage. We had 60 million views. Huge thank you to the viewers who lobbied YouTube to get my channel back up. So I've got to be very careful what I say. But basically, massive shout out and congratulations to the brave survivors, Virginia, Maria Farmer, Annie Farmer, for taking these super predators down. Maxwell now is facing anywhere from 40 to 65 years because she got found guilty of 5 of the 6 counts against her. And that's a huge success in the war against the super predators. However, there is a theory that some backsheesh is going to get kicked down to a appeals court judge because of Maxwell's links to the Clinton crime family and the Biden crime family, and she's going to get out when public opinion dies down on this case, but we'll see. Hopefully she'll get a maximum sentence and she'll spend the rest of her life in prison facing what happens to sex offenders in the American prison system, which is not very nice.
Well, she is 60, so even if she didn't spend 40 behind bars, if she even spent 10 behind bars, she'd be 70, obviously, when she re-emerged, and it's quite likely she'll be able to serve not less than 10, I would have thought. What's your current take on this question, though, if you're able to say? So far, Epstein's been arrested, Maxwell has been arrested and convicted, but what about all the people they were pimping for? Why have none of them been arrested?
All right, so if you look at the pyramid, I mean, Maria Farmer said that the head of the snake was Leslie Wexner. Look at how Epstein acquired his wealth. The property was basically handed over to him, the New York property, and then he got hundreds of millions from various, let's say, big names in finance. I won't reel them all off right now because I don't want to cause you any legal situations. So that wealth was manufactured over to him. And there is a theory that it was part of a honey trap operation. Now, these honey trap operations have been around forever. We just interviewed a guy who was a victim of the Kinkora Boys Home honey trap operation. Richard Kerr, absolutely heartbreaking story. So even though the mid-level people have been taken out of the loop, the big names, Bill Clinton, for example, the Queen's favorite son, for example, I mean, these people are untouchable.
Do you think, is the Prince Andrew story over now that he made a financial settlement? And have you any idea what that financial settlement might have been?
I can't recall the exact amount of the financial settlement. It would be a tragedy if the British taxpayers were paying 1 penny of that. But looking at what happened to Maxwell, 4 bail bond hearings, completely unnecessary. She was liquidated by her lawyers. And I think Prince Andrew was about to go over the same cliff. To save the royal family's public image, he did the right thing, because if he had have gone to trial, it would have been the biggest story all over the world, continuously, months and months on end, which we were hoping for, so we could expose these people more. But in the interest of the royal family, he was probably advised, they shut it down, basically. You can't go ahead and do this. But he would have been liquidated by his own lawyers and made a fool of himself and found guilty anyway, as far as I'm concerned.
And what's your current thinking on the strange suicide of Jeffrey Epstein? Did he hang himself
Well,
with paper sheets with no drop?
even we've just had the strange suicide of Jean-Luc Brunel. So you've got a guy that Epstein boasted he slept with over 1,000 girls from Jean-Luc Brunel, including 12-year-old triplets, which he boasted gave him such great oral sex. This was his birthday present from Jean-Luc Brunel. Suicided in the French prison. Epstein suicided in the federal prison in New York with fractures to the hyoid bones, indicative of, he was suicided, not committing suicide. So never in the history of that jail have two guards fallen asleep simultaneously, which is what happened. His cellmate was removed the night before. The stars aligned completely to allow this to happen. And then for the other main procurer of kids, Jean-Luc Brunel, to be found hung in his cell. I'm surprised it hasn't happened to Maxwell. And I think the only thing perhaps that's gone in her favor is because the Black Book was not Epstein's book. The Black Book was Ghislaine Maxwell's Black Book. She was the one with the contacts. He was the one with the wealth. And her contacts included top levels of royalty, top levels of politics in America, including the Clinton crime family. So I think she's got power through them. And with Biden coming in, that's why this theory of the backsheesh and her getting out on an appeal, Bill Cosby style, might happen. And we're all watching to see if that does happen.
Well, we'll all be watching you for first signs of that. Shaun Attwood, how do people follow you now? I appreciate your social media as a moving target. What's the best place for people to follow your work?
All my socials are under my name, Shaun Attwood, Shaun Wood, including my YouTube channel. My book is called Who Killed Epstein? Prince Andrew or Bill Clinton? Available worldwide on Amazon. Thank you, George, for letting me come back.
That's a provocative title. That'll be staring out to me in Waterstones, not.
Might be too hot for Waterstones.
How do people get that book, Shaun?
Yeah, it's
How do people get that book?
Who Killed Epstein is available worldwide on Amazon as a paperback, ebook, and an audiobook.
I'm sure it's going to go like hotcakes. Shaun Attwood, as always, thank you very much indeed